Nico, just the sense of relief for this group. You guys have been working, trying to get out of this, and just to be able to come out of this with a win, and sort of just the way it ended there. Siegs making that big shot block, just everyone sort of contributing here.
Yeah, it was a big win for us for sure. For the locker room, I think we've been working really hard lately and deserve the win here. And obviously it feels good, but now we got to get going again. I think obviously with lots of talks, teams go through stretches like that, and it's good to get out of there.
And then when you're getting out of it in the way, you and Timo have done a ton of scoring, but you get that depth contribution. How, important has that been for this group, right?
Very important. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at Glasgow's line today, they played unbelievable, and they were pretty much the reason we won. And that's what good teams do. Different lives step up in different games, and especially when you're going through a stretch like that. People step up, and we did that today. And even at the end, if you look all the block shots we made, and Markey came up with a big saves at the end there too. It was a grindy win, but these counts, and that's what we needed to get out of it.
Well, I think also just the way the goals were scored, right? You say sort of that grindy, they were in front of the net, those, none of the fancy plays there.
Yeah,
right?
Simplified the game. Yeah. Put pucks in net, bodies there, and eventually we'll win.
Did it amplify Markstrom's performance at all, seeing as he had to deal with quite a few guys crashing the net tonight, it seemed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they were in his face for sure, and obviously it's an emotional game, but he calmed himself down and did exactly what he needed to do, and made it hard for them by saving pucks, and he came out, like I said, he came out big for us at the end.
Thanks, Nico. Brenny, it's just that sense of relief for this group sort of in the air. You guys have been working towards it. We talked after the Boston game that you really liked, the way you guys were trending, but to be able to come out with the result must feel just fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, started in, we had a good meeting in Boston before that game, and I thought, the mindset of the team kind of shifted there going into that Boston game, and, I thought we had a really good game in Boston, and tonight, I mean, we gave up 3 power play goals, and we're still able to get it out. I mean, it speaks to how good our process was 5-on-5 and how well we played. So, there's a lot to be excited about. I mean, these are the type of stretches that later in the season you're grateful for, because you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about your group. So it's good to see our team playing back to our identity.
What do you hope is that thing that this group has learned about themselves through that stretch that have gotten you guys to this point?
Well, I think the biggest thing with our group is our pace. I mean, we have guys, such good skaters on our team, and when we're playing at a high pace, we give teams really no space, and it's just a tough brand to play against. I mean, when we're moving our feet, and every time they look up and they're we're right on top of them, and I thought that was for the most part 5-on-5 what it looked like for us tonight, just more of the same going forward.
One of the things that we've been talking about is sort of, you don't always need the fancy goals. Sometimes it's the grittier ones in front of the net. That's what you guys as a line really contributed tonight, and that sort of just proves,
I thought some of our goals were fancy.
I mean, fancy, sure.
No, I'm teasing. Yeah, no, obviously, no.
You know what I mean?
I'm teasing.
I know.
No, it was obviously, yeah. When things aren't falling, you kind of got to grit a couple out, and once you do grit it out, and then I thought that we made some plays, and then the ice started to open up for a bit. We loosened up a bit, and got more and more looks.
You guys came in really strong in the third period too. With the streak, did it feel really composed in the locker room though during the second intermission for you guys?
Yeah, like I said, to my point earlier, I think that really since our, we kind of had a good reset in Boston after, that game Friday, the night before, it didn't go the way we wanted, but I think since then there's been a really good feeling in this group. That Boston game, practice yesterday, the families, the Christmas party on Sunday and today, these things are important, to feel good and have fun coming to the rink, enjoy yourself, and I think that's we're getting back to that, and so it's nice to gut one out and try to keep it rolling.
You mentioned talking as a group. I think you said before that Boston game. I know, I don't want you to divulge everything that's said, privately in the room, but what was sort of the theme there that you're kind of alluding to?
Well, I think we got a little bit simpler. I mean, and back to our identity. Those are the kind of the two themes games. I mean, we simplified our game, and we got back to our identity, which is skating and playing with pace. And since then, we weren't forcing any plays, and the ice just started to open up for us, and plays presented themselves rather than trying to look for something or try to make something out of nothing. So that's been the big one, and so that's a huge lesson for us. I mean, going forward, going down the stretch, or going into a playoff push or in the playoffs, these are things that we could learn on. So that's what I mean. Why it is. There's definitely a silver lining when you go through tough stretches like that in a season, and it's important, as a mature group, to learn from that and not just kind of, brush it aside. Know what we can take from that and what's the lesson there, and so just keep it rolling.
Great as a group right now to sort of stick with what has been the process, trying to work your way out of it as a group, and then finally the ice opens up in a way that you guys get the result.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling to get the win. Obviously, we're going through a little bit of a streak there, but we just came together, and now it's time to kind of put our game together. Kind of put it the other way, put it behind us, and just have a clear mind.
And one of the things that we've been talking about, like leading up to getting this victory and sort of scoring more goals that you guys have been struggling to do, is just sort of get in front of the net, do those dirty area types of goals. That's kind of what you guys did tonight.
Yeah, I think just, especially our line, just forechecking hard, getting it to the point, just simple as can be, and it worked. So sometimes that's just how the game has to go. Like when you're going through a losing streak, maybe simplifying it's the best case. So for us, I feel like we just stayed positive, and we kind of just left everything in the past and just had a new game today.
What do you like so much about the combination of the three of you playing together? Because every time you guys are together, it seems something tends to happen.
Yeah, it was awesome. We played together early in the year, and I felt like we had some good success. But obviously, injuries happen, and people get moved up and down. So it was nice to be back. I felt like last game it was very similar today. We had a lot of chances, didn't end up in the back of the net, but today kept it simple. Brownie had a great game. Gertzie, he's as smart as he can be. So it's always fun playing with them. They're great at communicating, and when we're out there together, it's just trying to have some fun.
Is there something extra encouraging maybe about winning a game 4-0 at 5v5?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's one of those things where, it's tough just because, especially early, you could get down, especially on a 5-game losing streak, letting in those power play goals. It's, but we stay positive on the bench, came together, and, 5-on-5, we need to score goals. The past couple of games we haven't, so we just need to keep it up and, kind of have a similar game going into the next one.
Really much needed win for your group, and just talk about the overall process of tonight's game, finally earning a lead, then conceding it in the second period. What were you guys really talking about in that second, and what you liked from the third?
Just staying with it, which has really been the message. Just focus on controlling what we can. I thought we were playing a good hockey game all the way through. So that's what you're focused on, is the guys playing hard and battling and competing. So you're going to come away from the game with a good feeling, but it gets a lot better, and it's nice to have the players get the reward of the win.
Well, speaking of the players being rewarded, the Glass, Arseni, Brown line, that was an outstanding performance. What can you say about the effort they had tonight? Yeah,
just tremendous. As you say, I thought they were great in all three zones. Glass had a lot of great individual puck battles and got us through the neutral zone. He competed in the face-off dot. All three of them made plays. Obviously, Grits and Glass, they get the goals. But Brownie, I thought, was a real catalyst on the line too. A huge block at the end of the game. Yeah, those three guys really stepped up. And that's what you need. You need some guys to step up for you at a time like this. As a marquee, and especially in the third period, just such key saves and just battling. You need that. So it was great. Like I said, I think it's a well-earned win for our guys, and they deserve to have that feeling.
We just talked to Nico Hischier, and he said at the end of the day, we just simply wanted it more. Did you feel that type of energy as you were moving through the third period out on the bench?
Through the third, especially, yeah. I mean, I thought there's a good chunk of the second half of the second period. I thought, that Ottawa started to take it to us, and they kind of rose the level of the game a little bit, and we didn't rise with it. But I thought we did a much better job of that in the third period, and deserved our lead, and probably could have had the lead even earlier than that, quite honestly. But once you get the lead, now you're just laying it out there and you're just doing all you can. The other team's going to have a push. Our team's going to get a little bit tight just because they want the result so bad. I think our guys, we want it more. I don't know. I thought Ottawa looked like they wanted it too, but our guys certainly were willing to do whatever it was going to take.
What did you like about the way they handled that lead after Cody scored?
Yeah, I thought really up until the last few minutes, I thought we did a good job. Like we just kept playing. They're going to push, and like I said, it's natural. With how things have gone for us in the last week, that our guys are going to be a little tense in that, just because of how badly they want it. They don't want to make a mistake in those moments, but once it got to the goalie out, I thought we were just ultra competitive. Not perfect, made mistakes, but made up for it with just competing and kind of willing our way to the win.
One of the things that Brownie was saying is that before the Boston game, they met as a group and said, we got to simplify our game. Let's put things in the past. Obviously, you didn't get the result in Boston. It comes here tonight. But could you sense that about the way they were approaching not just the game, but practice and all those things?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we had really good discussions leading up to the Boston game, even though it was a back-to-back and all those sorts of things. I thought we were able to have some good honest discussions. As players, as coaches, the group together, and I thought our mindset was right in Boston. And sometimes when you're going through it like that, you don't get the result quite right away, but you can just kind of see it and feel it. I think the fact that we had, the 2 days, a full day off and a practice day to sort of regroup coming into today, you can't say enough about how important that is. I think maybe we had a little extra in the tank to push in the third period because of that. But I think the mindset of the team has been right as well. So that's good, and I think it can help us going forward.
Joe, it seemed like on top of the 37 shots that Markstrom faced, he also had to deal with a lot of bodies in front, contact and whatnot. Was it evident to you that he was really battling tonight?
Yeah, no question. I actually think that the harder they came to the net, the better Markey played. I don't know if there's a greater competitor that we have than Markey. So you start going hard to the net like that, he's going to be that much more engaged in the game and competing. So I thought it was great the way that he stood his ground in those moments, but also just dug in and kind of helped will our team to getting the 2 points here today.